Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Thursday morning. Hope you guys are having a great start to your morning and a great work week so far as we're inching closer to the weekend. Thank God for that. Got you a weather update for what's going to happen specifically for today, your April the 28th. There's a couple more days left in April, and then we move on to May. So we're just going to talk about a few things for today. Nothing too crazy going on, but as always, it seems to be the case. There is some severe weather to talk about, so we'll talk a little bit about that. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. If you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it. It gives others an opportunity to do so too. And I'm actually asking for unspoken prayer requests for myself. So if you guys could pray for me, I really would appreciate it. Nothing too crazy is going on, but just definitely asking for prayer. So that is much appreciated. So thank you guys. Water vapor loop. Let's take a look at that. You got an explosion of convection going on here in areas of northern Oklahoma, just north of Oklahoma City into Kansas. And then you got an area of convection right here in southern Minnesota and then northern sections of Iowa. And then you can actually see this outside the Oklahoma City radar here. Just got some showers and storms. Some of them are producing a little bit of hail. But they are not severe thunderstorm warned, but you got a nice little outflow working its way through Oklahoma City. So some storms definitely working through your morning commute in this area of Oklahoma. So be careful in that region. Storm Prediction Center today. We kind of talked about last night there was a potential for a slight risk to be introduced for the northern section of this severe weather threat. Sure enough, it has been a little bit further north than I thought. So actually one of those sneaky events up here in areas of western Nebraska, where you guys could, have a chance to see a quick spin up, 2% risk of a tornado and 25 miles in any given point in this region. Wind threat is there all along the marginal and slight region right here. And then a hail threat is there, especially for this 15% risk area right here, which is driven off because you have the slight risk is hail driven is what I meant trying to say. So any supercells that do form in this area, you're going to have some dynamics in place for some severe weather and some significant, some pretty, potentially some small to medium-sized hail is definitely possible. Large hail, I doubt it. HRRR model for what's going on today. This morning, some lingering moisture as a low pressure just wants to spin all day over here in this region of the country near in eastern areas of Canada. A little bit of back-end snow showers for Caribou for areas of eastern Maine. Outside of that, the entire rest of the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Southeast, Deep South, Florida, Mid-South, Ohio Valley for the most part, except western areas. Rain-free, nice day-to-day spring-type temperatures. Temperatures are beginning to moderate behind this cold front, so it's not too bad out there. I'll show you temperatures in a second, but you do have more rain working its way into Missouri a little bit later this morning into the afternoon hours. Seems like y'all are dealing with rain every single day of the week over the last several days in some form or fashion here. Some rain showers in areas of eastern Iowa and northern Illinois will work its way into the state by this afternoon. Then expect a little bit of some rain showers, especially in central Indiana, a little bit later this afternoon and evening for Indiana, and then rain showers starting to move into the mid-south by evening and overnight hours. But you got some storms developing right here. We'll talk about that here in a second. As far as high temperatures, 80s rising all the way up into the far deepest southeast corner of South Dakota, 80s widespread in Nebraska. You got 80s into Iowa. There's a stout boundary right here where you only have 50s and maybe even 40s, maybe some low 60s here in the Ohio Valley. It cuts northwest to southeast. So therefore, if you're in areas, for example, of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, 70s for highs, but in the northern portions of those states, only 50s, 60s, maybe even just 40s for highs. Looks like any snow that you got up here, you guys are definitely starting to dethaw up here with temperatures rising into the 50s and maybe just 40s for certain areas of the Great Lakes region. Interior Northeast remains pretty chilly today. It's always hard to shake off the cold even this time of the year in the Northeast. So Boston only 50 degrees today, around give or take a degree. And then New York City, maybe the low 50s today. But once you get down to Washington, D.C., maybe around 60, 62 or so. And then you get deeper into Virginia, into the Carolinas, 60s and 70s. Definitely 70s in South Carolina, Georgia, 80s for areas of Florida. And then 70s and 80s in general for the Mid-South and Deep South. And then it's pretty toasty here in Texas and the Southern Plains, Oklahoma, and Texas. 80s and 90s, maybe some 70s mixed in there as far as high temperatures for today. So we'll talk about the severe weather. A little shortwave piece of energy rides through associated with this trough, if you will, or just upper trough kind of setting up. It's kind of zonal. It's not a whole lot going on. It's not really any fluxes in the atmosphere here, but big one's coming here, in the next day, tomorrow, where there's an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms up. But as we're getting into this afternoon, expect some severe storms to pop up in far eastern areas of Nebraska, maybe even Iowa, extreme southeast areas of South Dakota. These could pack a punch, and then some more form later this evening, probably closer to when the sun's going down, or if it hasn't already went down, for central or south central areas in Nebraska. So if you're in this region of Nebraska, I know that's probably pretty hard to see on your screen. Watch for a quick area of convection that does blow up, then quickly probably falls apart very fast. Maybe some more storms in areas of eastern Kansas and then areas of western Missouri today. But watch out in this little section of Nebraska today. Anything that can get going could produce a quick tornado, maybe some hail. For areas of western Nebraska, just watch one or two individual cells that form in that area, as there will be a little bit of a low-level jet in place to put a spin to the updrafts. So we'll watch for that. But there is a marginal risk all the way down here in the Texas, but some capping in place, some morning convection might prevent any destabilization from the atmosphere destabilizing, is what I'm trying to say, from this occurring here in this region. So we'll watch for that. Heating out west, temperatures rising well into the 80s, like I said, all the way into Nebraska. But you guys, you're dealing with some on and off rain showers depending on elevation in the Pacific Northwest. But on general, your guys are maybe slightly below average up here, slightly below average into this section of the West also. But then it starts to get well above average as this ridge is building right into here, especially in the plains of Colorado, even up in the higher elevations of Colorado. You guys are warming up pretty good with probably some snow melt going on here if you got any snow in the mid-levels of those Rocky Mountains here. But as far as precipitation in this region, some on and off rain and snow showers really depending on elevation. Might be a situation in eastern areas of Idaho today where you might deal with some severe storms, and then by the time you get into the overnight hours, maybe snow into Friday morning. It's just kind of weird out there. They do it different out there in the west and the middle of the country, but nothing too crazy. There is going to be a disturbance in Montana pumping out snow for the higher elevations and rain for the lower elevations moving in overnight into tomorrow morning. But, all eyes begin to focus on tomorrow, where a broad enhanced risk is up. We'll talk more about that tonight. This has actually been extended and actually shifted a little further south, where I'm telling you the dynamics are going to be there. They're going to be there. But will they explode? Will these storms really initialize? Will the convection really be robust in this area? It's going to be a capping situation. We've talked about that many times, where you got the stable air in the upper levels of the atmosphere that prevents updrafts from taking advantage of the dynamics above that area of stable air. There's also, the storm juice below the stable air also, between the surface all the way up to just 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 feet up in the air until it hits that stable level of the atmosphere. So the updrafts can actually start to build, but then they hit that stable air and they can't build anymore and reach that other area of energy, if you will, or the Cape levels, or the high-end Cape, the storm juice, to really take advantage of that area of energy in the upper levels of the atmosphere, if that makes any sense to you guys. But we'll talk more about this tonight. They have hatched a hatched area inside this 10% risk, for a 10% risk of a significant tornado, 5% risk of a tornado 25 miles on any given point in the Brown area. Wind threat's going to be there. Hail threat will be significant. There's a 30% chance of hail occurring and a 10% risk overlapped over these other risks for a significant hail event. So be careful tomorrow. We'll talk more about this tonight. We'll get more in range of these short range models, full in range by this afternoon. So God bless everybody. Y'all have a great Thursday, and I'll talk to y'all this evening.